Shalom, shalom. Before I start, I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Yahweh Chachodash, Yahweh, which is the one and true name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but his one and true name is Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, because those are the men who we learned this truth from through the Spirit and power. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect. And shalom to you, sincere brothers scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity. I am your brother Mashiach Razakah from the Servants of Yahweh Yahweh Shai Camp, Las Vegas, Nevada. And pretty much this lesson is going to be titled as "You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians did go into slavery." All right, we did go into slavery, man. We were put on those cargo slave ships, and Deuteronomy 28:68 is pertaining to the prophecy that the Israelites would go into captivity, who we are today. The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the true Hebrew Israelites according to the scriptures. And Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, is talking about the curse that was brought upon our forefathers going into captivity. All right, because you got people out there that's trying to manipulate and twist the scripture of Deuteronomy 28:68, and that is talking about the Israelites going into captivity, which who we are. All right, and you know, when you read Deuteronomy 28 and you start at verse 15 and read all the way down to 68, those are the curses that were put upon us for our forefathers, who we are today. All right, because we are our forefathers reincarnated. All right, and we broke the old covenant. We didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments. All right. And, before I'll read this and then go up to verse 15 and then, get into it through the Spirit. Lord willing, this is edifying. This is Deuteronomy 28:68. It says, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships." Who did that happen to? All right. That happened to the Israelites, you Negroes, so-called Hispanics, and Native American Indians. All right. It says, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you." So, right, a lot of people will read Deuteronomy 28:68, and they'll say, "Oh, this has already happened," which it has already happened, but they'll try to say that this is not talking about us going into captivity, which it is. Because when you read Deuteronomy 28:68, you wouldn't need to take a boat to go all the way to Egypt. All right, you wouldn't need to take a boat. If you look at Israel to Egypt, you could literally walk there. Why would you take a boat to go all the way around to the other side and then go around and then go inside to Egypt? That don't make no sense. You wouldn't need to take a boat to Egypt. This was talking about going into captivity, which it happened. All right, and we were put on auction blocks. All right, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, we were sold. All right, Esau. All right, the Arabs. All right, the so-called Ishmaelites, who are the Arabs. All right, the 17 heathen nations, they all took part in the Atlantic slave trade. All right, and Native American Indians and Hispanics were sold. They was also in the native, and they were also in the slave trade. All right, so like it for the staggering, but you got people out there that say that Native Americans never was in captivity, which is a total lie. We were. Look up Native American slave trade. You can see it. All right. You can look it up. We were put on auction blocks as well. We were sold. All right. Just like the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Just like the so-called Negroes and Hispanics, man. All right. We were sold. But this was a curse due to us not keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments. And you can read that in Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 15. And this is what the Lord said. It says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." And these are the curses that came upon us. Our forefathers broke the old covenant. They didn't keep the laws and statutes and commandments. They broke the old covenant. So when you read from verse 15 all the way down to verse 68, these were the curses that were put upon us. All right. The Lord discontinued us from our heritage. And I'm going to get that out in a minute. But let's read this again. Deuteronomy 28:68. It says, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships." So again, you wouldn't need to take a boat to go to Egypt. If you look at a map and look at Israel to Egypt, you could literally walk there. You wouldn't need to take a boat to go to Egypt. You're going to go all the way the fuck around and then walk. Why would you need to take a boat? No, it was talking about going on cargo slave ships. All right, going into slavery, man. All right, it says, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. Meaning we wouldn't see the land of Israel no more. All right, because every time, we will be on track for a generation, and then the next generation will be wicked, and then we'll be on track another generation, and the second generation after that will be wicked. And the Lord got tired of that, man. He got fed up. So the Lord gave us to the heathen, man. All right, the heathen came in, all right, and we went into slavery, all right, to these 17 heathen nations. So when it says, thou shalt see it no more again, it was talking about the land of Israel. Now you got the misconception that's brought up in this American system that everybody comes from Africa, and we don't come from Africa, all right? And that's not even what it's called, Africa. Africa is not even, that's not even the name of that land, all right? It was, that word Africa goes back to a man by the name of Africanus, all right? Who was a Roman, a Greek Roman, all right? So that's not even the name. But people believe that, everybody believe, you got these wacky tacky, Israelite, so-called, westernized African American, which they're actually Israelites, man, but they believe they come from the land of Africa, and Africa is the motherland. Africa is not our motherland, man. Israel is, man. It says, thou shalt not see it no more again. It was talking about the land of Israel, man. All right. And it says, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. And that's what happened to us. The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians were sold to their enemies. And we weren't just sold in America. We were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. All right. We were sold. All right. It says, for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Meaning no man will free us out of this captivity. Because the Lord always had a deliverer to free us out of our captivity. But this captivity, the Lord isn't going to have a prophet like Moses or going back to the Moab captivity where that Benjamite, the Lord always had a deliverer to deliver us. But now our deliverer is going to be Yahushua. Yahushua is going to be the one to save us. The Lord isn't going to rise up no man in the flesh to deliver us out of captivity. That's not going to happen again. All right. Yahushua is going to come and he's going to deliver us. All right. He's going to deliver us. All right. No man is going to deliver us. No man in the flesh is going to deliver us. All right. Because that's a big thing that's going on too. You got Jakes out here saying that the Lord has spoken to him and, he's going to be the one to free the Israelites out of captivity of Esau. No man is going to free us out of this captivity but Yahushua. Yahushua is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. That's why he's coming back, and he's going to save the elect. And that's who we're hoping to be, is the elect. All right. It says, and bondmen, and no man shall buy you, meaning no man will free us out of this captivity. The Lord has, remember when you go into the Egyptian captivity, who the Lord set up? He set up Moses and Aaron to deliver the Israelites, to deliver us out of the captivity of the Egyptians, the Hamites. All right. There isn't going to be a man like that to deliver us in this captivity. Yahushua is going to deliver us. All right. So we got to bring that out. And I got a precept. This is Jeremiah 17:4. All right. It says, and thou even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. Right. Because our forefathers broke the old covenant. We have a heritage. Being a Hebrew Israelite is our heritage. It is our nationality. All right. Hebrew is our language. Israelite is our nationality. That's our heritage, not a religion. It says that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. Right. The Lord got upset. He got fed up and upset. Because when you go to 2 Kings, the 17th chapter, just using that as an example, all right, our forefathers were wicked. They start being wicked. They start worshiping other gods. They start following after the way of the heathen. And the Lord was just like, you know what? I'm just fed up with y'all. You want to be like the heathen, I'm going to give you over to them. And that's what the Lord did to us, man. That's exactly what the Lord did to us, man. All right? But when you go to Isaiah, that doesn't mean, that the Lord isn't dealing with the Israelites no more. Because the Lord gave it back to us. Isaiah 58:14. It says, then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it, because the Lord gave it back to us. It's just a temporary punishment. Now that the hopeful elect, now that the Lord's people is waking up, because we woken up, all right, we don't acknowledge ourselves as so-called African Americans and Hispanics and Native American Indians and Puerto Ricans and Cubans. We don't acknowledge ourselves by those, because we know what our true nationality is. We know that we're Israelites, all right? And we waking up. And this is what is being established all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man, through his prophets, all right? So, at the end of the day, when you go to Deuteronomy 28:68, all right, this was a curse that was put upon us as a people for breaking the old covenant. We didn't keep the laws and statutes and commandments. All right, let's read it one more time. Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. So remember, when you read that, that's not talking about ancient Egypt. All right, this is talking about going into slavery, the cargo slave ships. Because again, if you look at a map from Israel into Egypt, you wouldn't need to take a boat to get to Egypt. You wouldn't need to do that. That's stupid. Why would you take a boat from Israel to Egypt? You wouldn't need to do that. It was talking about cargo slave ships. It says, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, meaning the land of Israel, not Africa, the land of Israel. It says, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. We were put on auction blocks. All right, we were sold throughout the four corners of the earth. It says, and no man shall buy you, meaning no man will deliver us from our captivity, but Yahushai. He's going to be the one to deliver us. And I got one more precept that I want to get out. This is Deuteronomy 28:64. I should have went up to 64. All right, proving that we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and this is a curse that the Lord put upon us for being disobedient. This is Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other. All right, so we're scattered from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there it says, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which has happened. Our people are Jehovah's Witnesses, they're apostolics, they're Mormons, they're atheists, they're in Buddhism, Hinduism, all right? They're in Christianity, all right? They're in, I said Catholic, all right? They're in the Nation of Islam. They're in all these false doctrines. It says, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. They worshiping all these graven images, all right? These are the curses that's upon our people. But the main point is that we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So at the end of the day, Deuteronomy 28:68 is pertaining to us going into slavery, the Israelites. This hasn't happened to the so-called white man who calls himself a Jew, an Ashkenazi Jew. There's no such thing as an Ashkenazi Jew. All right, you guys didn't go into slavery. All right, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, Indians went into slavery. And we're the true Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible. This curse has not happened to you 17 heathen nations, man. All right, so hey, Lord willing, this was edifying. Till next time I say, Shalom.